All right, Lawrence, do you
whenever it flashes.
do you want to go or no? What's up to you?
I kind of want to visually describe everything we're seeing so I can see.
Yeah, no, I know. We're seeing
there's a man kicking his feet. No, they're strangling him. No, he's looking back.
Flashlight.
Fuck it, we'll tail sync. How about that?
Okay.
Welcome to a modifiable bowl of dude soup. It's just got the bottom of the bowl. You got to put the rest on, but you're allowed to charge everybody that eats the bowl.
Get your index finger in there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, ew, gross.
As long as it's served quickly, there's a film of dude soup left on, but we do not recommend touching that with your skin because it will
the word
bubble.
film when
It's a
when
soup
food
skin.
is
It's called
involved.
soup skin.
Oh.
We're talking about movies.
In no way is it a food, so please don't assume that it is. This is spooky number 13. Good call out, Spill. I like that. Playing Silent Hill because, well, we'll get to that in a minute.
What's so scary about this?
Let Lawrence talk.
You're,
I like that they
you're
let him
trapped
keep
to
his
a table.
flashlight.
and
Since
creepy
Halloween is next week, we're playing
Let
scary
Lawrence
games.
talk.
so-
This episode of Dude Soup is brought to you by two very fine sponsors, Harry's and Sherry's Berries.
Yeah, that's true.
And
That's
I'm
a real
so
thing.
glad I got
No,
to say
it's
that
not
together.
Harry's and Sherry's berries. It's Harry's
And Sherry's berries.
and Sherry's berries.
Yes, that's true.
Two different sponsors.
I said two, Joel.
Yes.
Do you not trust
It
that our...
sounded like
Oh, you gotta
one
click...
company.
Really? You got...
So controller doesn't work.
Fuck. All right.
Great.
I don't grammar.
This is a great podcast. So we'll be hearing more from them later, dealing with hair and berries respectively. But first, let's talk about mods.
Skyrim mods on Steam, and Valve fucked up real bad, but Valve's the worst. I hate Valve.
Remember
right?
the TV
Well, I'm
show
glad we
Mono,
got
but
that
they fixed
discussion
it.
out of
Oh,
the
they
way.
fixed it. I love Valve and Steam.
Okay, real quick.
It's the best.
Give me like 2 minutes, set up the discussion, then you guys can take it over.
Go right ahead.
So the whole mod thing lasted all of 4 days, which is actually pretty fast. They published it they opened the Steam Workshop up to sell Skyrim mods on April 23rd, closed it down on April 27th. The message said, quote, "We've done this because it's clear we didn't understand exactly what we were doing. We've been shipping many features over the years aimed at allowing the community creators to receive a share of the rewards, and in the past they've been received well. It's obvious now that this case is different. Quote, we think this made us miss the mark pretty badly, even though we believe there's a useful feature somewhere here. Long story short, you could...
That's not it.
So spooky!
No, it's 80085.
Nice.
8675309. It was so
That
Valve was
felt
saying all those
slow.
quotes, right?
Yeah, that was a post on Steam Workshop basically saying they're rolling it back because the internet hated this so much. So just to be clear, Valve wasn't requiring people to charge for mods, nor was Bethesda. All they were doing was allowing people to list mods on the Steam Workshop for a price of the mod creators choosing. They were still allowing for free mods. They were just enabling mod creators to charge for mods if they so choose. And each mod had a money-back guarantee. So if you downloaded it and it didn't work, you could get a refund.
Only for
It's
24
like that
hours.
toothbrush I bought.
Only for 24 hours. So yeah, we'll get to some of the
Just like that toothbrush
caveats
I
in a
bought.
second.
Yeah.
Just like the toothbrush Joel bought. Joel, you can't return it after you please yourself with it. Anally, you stuck it in your ass.
Not what the people at Target said.
Just put it back in the container and like it.
That's why Joel walks like that, by the way, everybody.
Sexy.
Sexy, yeah, like a woman.
He walks clean.
So,
624.
I say further. Gabe also said, I think in his statement.
I got a quote
Oh, you got
in there.
okay.
So one of the
News this
I
week.
know you did. Good.
a lot of people wanted to portray Valve as the evil corporation here, saying that how dare they're so money hungry, they want to make money off the backs of these hardworking modders, and they're ruining our great hippie community where everything is free and we just have sex all day, inside Skyrim. Download the Sex Dungeon mod. Gabe actually had a pretty great quote on this. He said, quote, and this was in the Reddit AMA he did. He said, quote, "Let's assume for a second that we are stupidly greedy. So for the paid mods, so far the paid mods have generated $10,000 total. That's
Click on next.
it's a button. It's a button.
we don't have
What button?
I don't know. We have to find a
I
button.
can't do anything.
This is the scariest game we've ever played.
It's very frustrating.
Mainly because Adam's gonna beat us.
I know. You just have to hit next.
Ugh, fuck this game.
find next.
Options. There you go. Yeah.
The terror controls. Yeah, maybe you can turn on.
Sexy Silent
see.
Hill Flash games.
Okay, so
Not live, no.
Gabe said at that point, mods had generated $10,000. He said that's like 1% of the cost of the incremental email of the program.
Yeah,
The program has generated for Valve employees. Yes, I mean pissing off the internet costs you $1 million in just a couple of days. That's not stupidly greedy. That's stupidly stupid. You need a more robust Valve is evil hypothesis.
So he's saying all the messages they got because of the mods cost them $1 million.
Basically,
That's
yes.
what they said.
Which
which is amazing to me.
Yeah.
when the internet sets its mind to something,
That blows my mind. And I don't think the internet actually knows that. I think that's because that's the first time I've ever heard anybody put a monetary value to pissing off the internet for a week.
they will probably choose
figure
not
it
to
out.
believe it. Oh, 1 and 2.
Is that just
of course.
because of the money they lost from game sales slash, or like mod sales slash the time that people spent?
I think it's the time.
managing it?
I think it's the time people spent managing it, and like the man hours of responding to emails, and the server, like the server overload of the emails.
Electricity and emails cost
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
Gmail makes it free because they serve you ads. These-
Yeah, that is
Spooky.
interesting.
But anyway, this is a really fascinating issue because theoretically, all Valve was doing was enabling the free market, which you Ayn Randians out there in the internet should love. Except everyone hated it because people like free things, and they hate it when things are not free because they used to be free. Ooh, button 0. There you
Button
go.
0.
This
Fast
garbage.
attack.
So where do you guys weigh in on this? I personally, I mean, I love mods. I remember back in the day, Quake 2 had a new mod like every week. In fact, like GameSpy.com would have its mod of the week, and every Friday I would download it, play it over the weekend. That's how I basically discovered a bunch of standard setting mods like Jailbreak and Rocket Arena and things like that. So the mod scene is obviously very important when it comes to like making a game grow. Bethesda themselves say they actually look at the mod community to figure out what to add via DLCs, like whatever it is, Hearthstone? No.
Yeah. What?
Hearthfire.
Hearthfire.
Oh, that thing.
They basically
You don't
looked at
remember a
it.
mod from 3 years ago?
No. I'm going to say no to that.
So, the proof is in the pudding there. They obviously looked at the kinds of mods that were coming out in Skyrim, like you can have a house, you can have like a
Or like a orphan
a wife,
child.
a child, and they're like, okay, well, we can brush that up and sell it ourselves. Just taking inspiration from what the community says they want through what they create.
So, all right. So my first question is, why did everybody get so upset if those things were all true in terms of a 24-hour refund and the fact that like you don't necessarily like it's the creators that charge? And
I think you're just
Valve.
I think you're corrupting the basic idea of what mods are and what mods have been for so long.
That's the idea, yeah.
It has always been additional free content made by the community, and that's kind of where that hippie mentality comes from, where it's like, do it for the people, man. I'm of both mindsets where I'm like, yeah, you know what? People who create this stuff should find a way to get paid for it because they've been making it free for so long. If they want to make it for free, cool. I'm okay with that. But if there's a way to support them, I'm okay. I want that too. So it's like I want all options. I think the way Valve did it, actually, it's funny. It reminded me of On Live when that came out, where they're like, here's a weird new service. Let's charge you for it. And you're like, no, you shouldn't charge for new things like this. Like, there should be an optional like donate button or something like that. You should play around with it before locking anything up behind a paywall. There's just too many variations in there where if one thing doesn't work, it'd break the other. So
Here, I think that most people got most mad. The majority of people got majority mad over the fact that only 25% of the revenue was going to the creator and 75% was going to a split between Valve and Bethesda.
Sort of. If that were the case, people
Right,
wouldn't
that's
have
fine. I know what
held
that is.
so harshly for the entire program to be rescinded.
Well, yeah, but I think that also the internet is a reductionist medium
right?
where, like, they don't appreciate nuance or they think that there's good and bad.
There's no more number on that.
So, I agree with Adam. I see both sides of the issue where, like, the intellectual property isn't yours. Even if you created the mod, it's based on in-game assets that Bethesda created. Now, no one's going to like me because I'm saying
There is
this.
no
Sure.
So there's that. And so any money that, like, should be made, technically, should be going to Bethesda. And any money that they offer to give you is goodness and kindness of their own heart.
Yeah, it's I can go either way on this too.
But I agree with Adam in that, like,
Yeah.
they rolled it out poorly. They weren't very clear. 25% is paltry. And it was a program designed to make the internet mad. Like, if they had asked anybody at Valve who wasn't like in the finance department, although I know they don't have departments there, like, is this a good idea? They all would have said, people are going to get pretty upset about this.
Yes, I guess I am always surprised at the internet's reaction to like destroy it instead of okay, it's a first step.
Well, it's like
Are you surprised
No,
by that?
I guess I shouldn't be.
It's very, very similar to when Microsoft came out with the Xbox One details before E3.
Oh, yeah,
it's the
you're
same
right.
deal.
Totally.
They released all these details. They gave us basically every single detail at the Xbox One and like how it worked. And we all kind of thought, it was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, it sounds like Steam, but on a console. And people exploded. They hated it.
Yeah.
And within, what was it, like 3-4 days, Microsoft's like, oh, never mind. Like, we'll go back to what it was.
it's funny. I just had a moment right now. I plugged in my PlayStation 4 and I was loading up. Damn. I lost that one.
Blew it out of your head.
I was using the work one here. I was setting up. I was downloading Bloodborne on there. I was like, oh, let's play a little Bloodborne before the podcast starts. And the install that was on there was from the disc, and I bought it digitally at home, and the message was, sorry, this
you can't
install
do it.
is from a disc,
What?
not from the download.
Yes.
Please delete this like 20 gig file. I was like, motherfucker,
Doesn't
really?
make any
Like,
sense, yeah.
At least the Xbox can migrate. That's cool.
yeah. So I was like, okay, well, I mean, you know, sure, we're the 1% or whatever of like people who are constantly going between digital and disc or whatever, but I was like, oh, that's kind of a pain in the ass. Like, I don't really dig that. I don't know. But
This is so scary.
this game sucks.
Worst game I've ever seen.
If the button prompts were
Wait, hold on.
accurate, it's
Let's
supposed
try
to-
it.
Who keeps whispering stuff like, go to room 203? And I'm like, all right, I'll go to room 203.
Can you go to
There's
the
a map
X-ray
in
now?
this room apparently, like on the counter somewhere. That says like attention staff or something.
I don't think this game was meant to be played
That's
on
right. It's
anything
gotta be one
other
of
than a
those documents
PlayStation
there,
2.
Oh my god.
But also,
What's that guy looking
the funny thing is, though, going back to Microsoft's press conference, them going back on it, and now Valve, who normally never backs out of anything, they're even still doing Greenlight, which is
Yeah, you're right.
like a failure of a system. I mean, however you want to look at that. But this kind of also reminds me of like Google Plus. Remember when that happened? And like,
Yeah.
people were boycotting it, and like, I won't.
the comments specifically?
I am turning off comments as long as Google Plus is a thing, and Google just stuck by it. They said, no, we know what we're doing. I kind of expected Valve to do the same thing in this situation. Go, no, we know what we're doing. Instead, they caved in, which
No.
was kind of interesting.
Well, ultimately, I think
Put it on the board. put it on the board.
Yeah, did you get the other half?
You have the other half.
Yeah,
of it.
let's just get past this.
Hit the-
part
hit
of
the
game real
inventory
quick,
button.
because I feel like it's.
We gotta go room 203.
This game sucks.
We already knew that
Why did we pick it?
because it's
It's
in the honor
only
of
thing
what's happening.
vaguely related to Silent Hill.
Yeah, which is
Oh.
something we're not even talking about yet. Cool.
That's
We'll
fine.
get there. We'll get there.
Fuck it. You guys can bail out and play a new game if you
I'll
want.
put
Yeah, I think we should play
Please
a new
put it
game.
in a new game.
Oh
All
my
right.
god,
This is
never
what
again.
you- Internet, when you guys say Silent Hill's great, you're
None
wrong.
of that's going to be
categorically
synced.
wrong.
Wait, before you do,
you're-
hold on. Sync on this.
Okay,
Just real quick.
Ready?
This is
1,
Great.
2, 3.
ah!
Look, Peter
No,
Pan.
It did.
It's so slow.
It was.
It's okay.
Yeah, you can do it on here, on exit.
Sure.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
All right,
Yeah,
Lawrence.
perfect.
That was
Double
on a
sync.
sync of the exit. It's about 17 minutes. Oh no, more like.
It's exactly where that TS file ends.
Yeah, that's true.
It doesn't work that way, sadly.
17 minutes in.
Fuck off.
Anyway, I was just saying, I'm not. I'm glad that they rescinded the program. I think it was really smart of them. I think this is what makes Valve so beloved. And if they didn't respond to the internet the way that they do in all of these situations, they wouldn't have the cachet that they currently have. You know,
Cash it.
Nintendo is a company that's like, we're sticking by our guns, and everyone's like, well, fuck you.
And they very rarely try anything experimental. Aside from their partnership program, which apparently is actually doing pretty well. So, I don't know.
Well, Nintendo says it's doing well. I mean, like, of course they're going to say that.
Yeah, by what metric?
but yeah,
From their
I
old
mean,
partner
Made
program?
$600 last
Yeah,
quarter.
but if they were gonna make 0 before, then 600 is 600 profit, right?
Well, also, they're not going to say. Am I
Right?
right? They're not going to say like, oh, you know that part of that program we came out with? It sucked. Only Valve does that, and like,
Which is why everyone loves Valve.
Kudos to Valve and kudos to Microsoft. Same deal. Like they did the same thing. They're like, oh, we fucked up. Whoops.
Yeah,
sorry.
although I think in the case of Microsoft and the Xbox, they backed off too quickly. Like,
Oh yeah, no, I mean I totally agree. I
don't know.
absolutely agree.
I
with
can
you.
see the concern when I put myself in the mindset of, for me at least, when I was heavily into mod scenes, the appeal was you bought a game for $60 and you played it for an entire year and a half, and every week there was something new to experiment with. You basically got a new toy every week. And I can see the concern that if Valve enabled toy makers to charge for their product, then everybody would start charging for their product, and suddenly I wouldn't be getting the free toys I wanted to play with anymore.
Yeah.
I like free.
It seems like it's
Everybody
more
does.
of an issue where instead of enabling the like 1% of players that actually make content and probably should be rewarded for that, it's more like we want to keep the system the way it is because that means I get free stuff and I like that. And if I've noticed anything with human nature is that you can never roll back something that somebody was getting.
Yeah, if it was free, it's like YouTube. If it was free,
Yeah.
it's going to be tough to charge people for that same content.
Yeah.
And I've been saying that for as long as like YouTube's trying to roll out the subscription service and all those other things. I mean,
and
like
all the other like stuff like Vessels coming out. Where
I think it'll work in certain iterations, but I mean, like it's a lot of different steps to take to make sure you get there, in the right way.
Putting up a paywall is never a good idea. And
said us as we are streaming this to sponsors only on Rooster
Yeah.
Teeth.
What?
well, no, I know, but it's a. But
Situation's
it's,
a little different.
Well, I'm just playing.
you know, Joel,
You're right.
I'll let
Thank
you
you for
finish.
bringing it
I'll
up.
let you finish my thought. Go ahead.
Wow.
Well, the difference is
We'll table that. I think it's a good discussion point. Adam, please finish your point.
I was saying you never want to put a paywall that's permanent. There always needs to be like if Valve had some sort of subscription service, like get the mods early, or Bethesda worked on a deal with them and said we're going to do these creator pick DLC packs. You pay $5 a month, and you're going to get like DLC level mod things created by the community, and that money goes back to and then saying like, and a month later they'll be free for everybody, something like that, or they rotate it out like a free to play.
Like
almost.
the Rooster Teeth stuff is behind a paywall at first, and then it goes onto YouTube, and then you get to watch it.
I'm gonna pull an Andrew Ryan. Fuck it, let money decide. You know.
Well, that was the idea.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and it ended horribly.
I think that was a good idea. No, I don't think it went horribly because everyone immediately reacted because they were like, whoa, whoa, whoa. But if it's a shitty broken mod, people will probably stop buying it.
They'll downvote it to oblivion. The reviews will be awful.
Yeah.
They'll be even angrier than if it were free. You know, like they'll be even angrier because they spent money on it. So, like, I've seen enough negative Yelp reviews of places that are kind of okay, and so, I just think like if it had just stayed with it, it might have like 6 months down the road.
No, I know.
Probably would have been a pretty good ecosystem.
Yeah. Choice.
I think so too. And I mean, one of the things I really liked about the mod community is that it allowed, like, as somebody who didn't play a ton of mods, but I read a lot about them.
Oh,
Hold on just a sec, Joel. We're singing at 21 minutes into the Audacity file. On right click on the desktop.
Ready?
1, 2, 3.
Good stuff.
Ooh.
Nice
It's
job,
right
Bruce.
with the fart.
My water was right down there.
Oh, come on, it's got shingles all over.
My face is back here.
Is that a lot of modders came to the attention of game developers and got hired as game developers. I think
Counter-Strike is a perfect example.
I think that's really cool. One of the things that this does, to me, is like the YouTube platform where, all right, now you can get paid. Like, if you want to, you can charge for your mods and you can get paid for it. And this is like a little bit of side money. And for the really successful ones, it could be a full-time job on their own, being able to be independent. Now they don't have that opportunity anymore.
Immersive paywall.
Protest no.
Wow.
Oh God.
Well, they do. Here's the thing. I think if Valve is smart, and I saw a lot of different comments
SkeletonHumor.com.
about this. They should just put a donation button on their mods.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of mod
That was
makers do.
That's no, I mean, like, but well, then why was everybody complaining about that? Then?
That was one of the options.
nobody was donating.
So there were like 3 different options they could choose. They could choose not to have any kind of payment for their mod. Then there was a flat fee of what it would cost, and then there was a pay what you want version of which was basically a donation. Like it started like 17 cents, and then you could you could pay up to like 80 or something.
Well, then just put that button on every mod.
I think we're gonna come. I think eventually for a lot of these mature platforms like Steam and YouTube, we're gonna get to a point where they have their own sort of Patreons built into the platform.
Yeah.
Where you can almost subscribe or fund or whatever to
$170.
It took him 10 years to make.
Wow. That's impressive.
This is the community. This is
Play
who
the
you're.
game.
Man.
The community that we love.
So what I kind of referenced this before, but what will never cease to amuse me is that you have like Atlas Shrugged Bible thumpers out there who go to all kinds of atheist subreddits and stuff, and they will trumpet the freedom of the individual and the power of the invisible hand of the free market, and then it's like, wait, you want me to pay for my horse mods? Fuck you! Fuck you, you greedy corporation! You can't have it both ways.
They can't, 'cause they're on the internet.
They can
can,
however
actually.
way they want.
Basically, how
It's anonymous.
So let's take a brief aside.
Oh, okay.
To mention this podcast is sponsored by Harry's. So if you are a fan of Atlas Shrugged, perhaps you should invest more in your hygiene. Harry's is a way to do that.
I don't know. Go ahead.
Let him do his thing.
Nothing? Okay.
Sorry.
Joel, this beautiful man right here, this
Hates
perfectly
Atlas
shaven
Shrugged.
man. Good for you. But also has tried the Fine Harry's product. So if you guys are unaware, Harry's is a razors by mail service where you get a box with a razor, cream, gel, everything a man needs to feel elegant, refined, and attractive to the ladies.
Joel, do you fill those ways?
Constantly. Here's the thing. We got a trial of these a while back. I'm still using the razors now.
Oh, wow.
I really love the handles and also the shaving cream and the aftershave. I used it this morning, not even knowing we'd be talking about it on the podcast today. Here are the things I liked about the handle.
Tell me about it, Joel.
The razor is weighted very excellently.
Balances.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's
Every morning he comes in and shaves with one finger.
the
Joel's family crest is inscribed into the.
and the aftershave is really nice. I think it's. I mean, I really like it. I also like the fact that I don't have to go out and buy a shitload of really expensive razors constantly. And the razor I was using previously was one of those electric, like, vibrating ones where it's supposed to vibrate your hair out of its pores.
Yeah.
This is a much, like,
Oh,
fuck
no.
that shit. I felt like I was shaving with, like, a vibrating dildo or something on my face, and ultimately, I did not like it at all. This is much more manly, because there's no dildo pressed against my face. Harry's.
God, we're professionals. Okay, so if all the dildo talk has encouraged you to step up your shave game, go to Harry's, harrys.com, harrys.com, and click on enter our code DUDE, DUDE, and that'll get you $5 off your first purchase, which means you get a starter kit, which includes a month's worth of shave materials.
Yep.
For only $10.
That's what I've been using.
Which is honestly a lot cheaper than buying either disposable razors, replacement shave heads, like bottles of shaving cream. All that stuff at a store will cost you way more than that. So even if you just do it once to save money, just try it out. Again, our code is DUDE. That's at harrys.com. And then you can get a month's worth of shaving for $10. And if you like it, you can go ahead and subscribe. That's another thing. You don't have to subscribe right away. You can just buy one kit and little guy, and try it out. And then you don't have to go back and cancel because a lot of stupid services.
Oh, you don't?
No.
That's actually really nice.
You can just buy the one kit, try it out, and then if you like it, subscribe after that. So
Handsome stainless steel razor.
one last time, harrys.com, harrys.com, and our code is DUDE, DUDE. Thank you for your sponsorship, Harry's. Please don't abandon us because we talked about slapping dildos all over Jill's.
No, we did no slapping.
Popping?
Anyway.
Jiggling.
Wait, hold on. This is a good time to sync. Let's do a sync.
Yeah.
With
All right.
Ready?
I'll skip.
On unpause?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
On unpause at 26 minutes into the Audacity Fund.
He's being shot by a stormcloaked soldier.
Yeah, because I stole a horse.
So Lawrence, did you guys bring up, because I was kind of looking up walkthroughs.
Right behind us. Ooh.
Did you bring up how the 24-hour refund for the mods was kind of BS because a lot of mods don't break until you're well into using them because they'll have conflicts with other mods. And stuff.
So interesting.
yeah, Spool and I were discussing how thorny that can be, and also that kind of ties to another thing that I wanted to bring up about the potential to salvage this program. But yes, Spool is correct. So it does have a 24-hour refund window. The problem is mods can be very interconnected and interdependent. Mm-hmm. And this actually, Ashley brought this up on an episode of The Know, is that a lot of mods require the Skyrim script extender.
Yeah.
And a lot of mods by nature are iterative, and that's part of the kind of hippie community of it. Oh boy. But yes, so what happens if you buy a mod, you think you've tested it out, and then like a day later after your mod window's over, you find that you've installed maybe another mod that by itself worked okay, but when you have these two installed, suddenly you get crashes and all this shit.
Yeah, and then we kind of were thinking about like who do you blame? Because what if those mods just aren't working together? Like it's neither one of them fault, or it's one of them's fault, but you don't know which one, and you're trying to get a refund for the one that works or they claim works, and
what you're saying is they're fucked. Like,
yes, they are fucked.
They are absolutely fucked because they can't get a refund. They don't know what the conflict is, and they can't go to Valve to ask for a refund either because it's like they paid money to this other developer who's barely a developer.
That's the weird thing is because they can do that within the first 24 hours.
It's a
but after those 24 hours, they're totally fucked.
Jesus Christ, you're just training everything.
But
yeah, no,
request.
I mean, like they're totally screwed. So I get, so that makes sense from Valve's point of view why they decided to discontinue the program as it stands now. But again, the donation button I think solves that because if you donate to your mod and the mod conflicts, it's your own fault. Like you gave him your money. I mean, it totally is. Like you could have downloaded it for free, but instead you gave him money.
I think people would still want to get money back.
Well, absolutely, but again, it was their choice.
I also thought it was kind of weird that they were giving the power to the creators to give to set the prices, which sounds good on paper, but like you think about it, and like there's just gonna be lots of people that set things super high or like just ridiculous, like
right, and
it'll work out eventually, but it was just really chaotic.
Well, like I mean, like there was like there are $100 mods that like some kid pays for because he's like, oh, like this has to be good or whatever, and then it crashes immediately. He's fucked,
Well, if it crashes immediately, then you get a refund
within 24 hours. Sure, yeah, but I mean, that's who's gonna play 24 hours worth of a mod.
So here's a theory that I had that hopefully Valve. Hopefully some company will chase this down, but kind of similar to the way that Skyrim Workshop works now. Basically, it works for, like, say, Dota 2. You submit content, people vote on it, and then my understanding is, and I'm actually now just realizing I could be wrong about this, but there is some kind of Valve certification Like they look at the content, they evaluate it, they make sure it works fine within these parameters of the game, and then they put their stamp on it and say, this will work because we have tested it and certified it. So why couldn't that work with the mod scene? It seems like, Gabe said they made $10,000 in 4 days. Why couldn't they start really small, maybe hire 2 or 3 testers to take applications for mods and then evaluate them, make sure they abide by certain constraints and certification codes?
Can I suggest a reason why?
Why?
Because this isn't just for Skyrim. This is mods across all of
Well, they're going to
Steam,
eventually branch it
and-
out, sure.
Well,
But
it's going to take a while to do
a
that.
shit ton of people.
Yeah,
it'll take
shitload of people.
Well, right, but it should scale, right? So if a game is big enough and people are submitting enough mods, you can make certain predictions based on that volume of how much revenue you'll get. And then you can hire the appropriate people. Ideally, a person, an individual, would be able to evaluate and successfully approve enough mods to justify their salary and then some.
I do like the idea of like a certified mod, or something across all of Steam, not just for Skyrim. I think that's a great idea. It'd be incredibly costly, and it'll take a long time, especially for some of the bigger mods to get that certification.
Sure.
So, maybe the solution is a beta test phase for a lot of these mods, or I don't know.
Well, as Lawrence stated previously, it's really hard to kind of go back. And the thing is right now is like they've got this huge Steam Workshop with tons of mods on it. And they're like, oh, and there's this tiny little section where 3 mods are approved. Like, buy these mods. Like that when there's thousands of free mods. Like, who would ever do that?
That was the case already. Like, in the past 4 days, there were maybe 15 mods you could buy, around 20, I think, and still 10,000 free mods that you could just click a button and have
People
for
were
free.
all upset.
And still people were losing their minds. And granted, I understand that they were more concerned about the future of it than the reality of it. But still, that was the case.
And also, what kind of stops people
God, you're gonna kill
from,
this
while
for me.
there's free mods available, what kind of stops people from tweaking them? Like,
That's a really good point, yeah.
You can't take like the code from a mod and then like just tweak it a little bit. But if you wrote your own that was like the same kind of thing and make it a free version,
Yeah, you're right.
It doesn't stop people from doing that. So
Well, and in that case, you would have to follow like DMCA, takedowns, and all that stuff. And granted, that was also the case. Spool, as you found in the, I think in terms of service, it basically relied on the community to file DMCA violations if a mod stole another mod's work. So it was basically saying I think they rightfully knew that they didn't have enough manpower to police everything. Mm-hmm. And they were like, if you guys have a problem, you tell us and then we'll look at it. Kind of like YouTube or basically any other platform.
It's just messy.
It's messy. It's really messy.
And
But
that's what I think they kind of realized after the fact. I was surprised that they didn't go into a beta with this first. Like they just launched it, and that was like I thought that was a big mistake because
and for Skyrim, one of the most mod heavy games out there. Like they didn't pick maybe a smaller volume game or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean it kind of makes sense why they picked
should have done
it.
Don't Starve with James's face.
Oh my God, Adam!
That guy's
Man.
dead. Oh, he's fine.
Whoa! All right,
guy.
let's go around the room. Give us a yes, no, maybe a 1-sentence reply. Do you think making an official marketplace for paid mods can work? Starting with that.
Yeah, no, totally. It's just like Spool saying, there needs to be a beta phase, and there needs to be an opt-in, and there needs to be some sort of tiered system. And it's gonna be messy. But what I like about this, we were talking about this a while ago. There's a point I wanted to get to, but we were saying, I think it was Bernie or someone was saying that they might do. It'd be kind of cool if Bethesda's big announcement at E3 is re-releasing games like Skyrim and Fallout and all that on the new gen.
Oh, yeah.
The current generation, and then the whole idea of like mods have never really been a thing on consoles. They are like illegally, but it'd be kind of cool if you could create, let's say you, Lauren Sontag, could create a mod on PC, beta test it on there, and then Bethesda gives it okay. It's like, whoa, your mod's fucking awesome. You fixed our game. We're gonna sell that on PC and console. And these guys, and now all of a sudden you're making all sorts of money because it's on all these different platforms, and there is no free version on the PC, but there is this paid one that definitely works on console. That's kind of a cool world. Now we're talking about bringing mods to console. So yeah, that's what kind of excites me about the future about this. Right now, it's a big goddamn mess. Go ahead, Joel. You need to talk.
Joel, it's Joel's turn. Time for
he's-
Joel.
Sorry.
He's got stuff. He's got stuff
Joel
all
was
over
talking
his
about
cup.
something entirely different.
Oh, sorry.
His cup's like a petri
Jeez,
dish.
you got it out for Joel.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all right. I typically don't talk when Joel's talking.
He wasn't talking. He
Adam
was
sensed
purposely
antsiness
keeping
from
his voice
Joel.
down.
He rightfully
I can
assumed
hear
Joel
him.
was
He's in
being
my
a little bitch.
ear.
I'll go.
Spool's
Unlike
turn.
when everybody else at the beginning of the podcast was yammering
Go ahead,
away,
Spool.
and I said, "Why don't we stop and let them figure out the game?"
Let's pull,
I don't
let's
know
pull talk.
about player managed mod like prices and stuff like that, but I really like Bruce's idea of like having a donation basically there, like a Patreon kind of thing where you basically subscribe to modders or like you pick certain mods or whatever that you want to support.
That's, by the way, not my idea. It's the internet's idea. But
Well, it's yours now, Bruce, because you're on the internet. So,
You need to charge
but
for
yeah,
that
that's,
idea,
that's
Bruce.
how I feel about it. I don't really like the paid side of it because mods have been free for so long. To take that away from people is just, I don't know, they're not gonna like it.
James,
I think you leave it up to the modders. If the modders want to put a little donation ticket on there, or if they want to put a price ticket, or if they want to not even ask for anything at all, just let them do it.
that's what Valve had.
So
And
the
everybody
system as it was.
exploded.
And everyone exploded, even though it doesn't have to affect. It's all optional, right? This isn't the game. There's a game called Skyrim, and then there are other things made by people who aren't at all related to the makers of Skyrim, right? Who are making things. They're breaking the game open. They're adding stuff, and then you can try that if you want to, but that's on you. I think that's totally on you.
I don't want to pay $70 for horse.
Well, you already had your say.
Then don't pay $70 for horse disc.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
But I need
Boom.
Yeah.
Bruce?
Well, I think it's a combination of yours, Lawrence, the beta test, and the donation. So
was
I think what they do is they basically hire, like, let's say 10 people to curate these mods. They have a donation button on all the mods, every one of them. It doesn't matter what it is. And then those 10 people are going through the mods and curating and going to Bethesda and being like, hey, you should get this one approved, sell it on PC and console, just like Counter-Strike. That's what happens in Counter-Strike. Like, Valve found those guys and was like, hey, you made this mod really, really cool. It made the game infinitely better. They hired them and had them come on and develop Counter-Strike. So
Same with Portal.
yeah, exactly. Same deal. So I think that they should just have a curation while they're doing donations, and Valve will get their money. The modders will get their money, and then everybody will be happy in the end.
Levitating with your mind?
No, you can pick basically any object up.
Oh,
I can't believe I never played this game. Oh wait, yes I can.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You
Joel.
had a lot
the
of fun.
story is so good.
Yeah, no, I think the best thing to do would be to have a donate button, and obviously, no one gets upset with Patreon because Patreon's split rates aren't that bad, and so you just need to change it from 25% goes to the creator to 75 or 80 or 90% goes to the creator.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. It's true.
Okay.
What is it on Google Play and Apple?
I don't know.
It's
the
a
rev
lot
split?
that goes to Apple. The rev
Yeah.
splits and Google actually.
Yeah, the Apple's bad.
Yeah, I feel like it's.
I mean,
wanna-
YouTube's
That's
bad.
I want to say it's like 75-25.
Let's be honest. YouTube is only 50. You only get
50-50.
roughly 50%.
Yeah, I think it's 75% goes to iOS and
Return with word of your success, and Mirak shall be most pleased.
Google, but I'm not sure.
know.
So what
I'm
we've
doing
learned
wrong
is you need to do integrated ad campaigns in your mods. So you do
like a big-
Doritos mod.
like Doritos
Pepsi.
mod.
People make those for free.
Hey, if that's what you can do, whatever, man.
I know. Donate.
Who gives a shit?
Donate to them.
Well, one thing you should give it shit about is your dear sweet mother.
Okay.
Mother's Day is coming up, and what better way to celebrate the woman who gave you life and pushed her out of her nethers than Sherry's berries? I'm gonna let that one sit for a little bit.
I mean, it's good.
Sherry's berries.
Why?
I'll still
talking about our mother's nethers?
Yes.
I'll still eat the berries.
We're getting into ad read territory here. So if you guys aren't familiar with Sherry's berries, it's essentially they just send a sweet box of strawberries that have been dipped in various kinds of chocolate. If there's one thing women love, it's berries and chocolate.
Yep.
Well, men like it too, because you guys went ham on that box of chocolates.
Tore it up. But we're not talking about us. We're talking about our moms.
They were-
Spool's hot mom.
Leave the mothers out of it.
Immediately went to his hot mom. Wow, that's great.
We discussed.
Awkward silence.
Spool, I'm gonna do shots with your mom, and I'm gonna get Sherry's berries from my mom. Because
Why
that's
not
what they
share space
like.
for my mom? She's not worth it.
It's a good ad read.
Yeah, this is
They're
going
gonna
real
love
well.
this. Since you guys are listeners of Dude Soup, we have a special promotion for you. Sherry's Berries is offering giant, freshly dipped strawberries starting at $20. That's an over 40% savings. All you have to do is go to berries.com, which, yes, they actually got that domain.
Wow, good for them.
Berries.com. There's a little like microphone that's got like a promotional code area in the upper right. Click on that, put in our code DUDE, and you can get our promotional deal. Oh, sorry, Dude Soup, sorry.
Oh, Dude
DUDE
Soup.
space SOUP.
No space, right?
There is a space.
Oh,
Yep.
Dude Soup.
Uh-oh.
Sweet.
Hopefully both will work. But anyway, go to berries.com.
Dude Soup.
I'm gonna try it right now.
Yeah, give it a shot. But yeah, we
Berries.
tried it. My God, they were amazing.
Yeah, there you go.
Surprisingly filling.
They're the best.
I had 2.
They are the
All right.
best.
So what is it?
Dude space soup.
Man, you were here and you didn't even remember.
Boy, I heard 3 different
there you
versions.
go.
Welcome, Dude
Okay.
Soup listeners. That's us.
Yeah.
Well, we're Dude Soup creators.
And listeners, we
Yeah.
listen to it too.
We have to listen to it. We have no
Yeah,
choice.
speak for yourself.
Sometimes Adam listens really hard, and when Joel's whispering, he
I watch
snaps
it.
at him.
I watch it with the audio turned off.
So if
With the same kind of snap that these
boy.
berries are going to have in your mouth. Bite in.
Munch.
Thank you for bringing it back. If you guys are maybe struggling for something to get for your dear sweet mother, or maybe you're so selfish you haven't even thought of her lately, go to berries.com, enter our promotional code DudeSoup, and get her something nice.
Also Mother's Day or whatever.
It's on
That's
May
what-
May
that's
10th.
what he started with.
May
That's
10th.
the whole
Yeah, he
point.
started with Mother's Day.
My sister's birthday's coming up. Can I get him for her?
No.
Yes.
Oh wait.
Yay.
Yes. Yes.
Your sister's hotter than your mom, too.
Oh,
I don't know about that one.
Jury's out on that.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Well, do you-
yeah.
could your sister drink me under the table?
No.
Damn it.
Nobody can drink you under the table, Lawrence. You're an
Lawrence-
alcoholic.
yeah.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm searching for the chosen one.
He sleeps. He starts under the table. That's where Lawrence begins.
You're only an alcoholic if you like binge drink every other week, right?
Nope.
No, Lawrence.
Really? That's
you are
it?
definitely an alcoholic.
All right, well,
Bummer.
you only get one lever, might as well use it.
I agree.
Oh my God, you talk to it.
This
Yeah,
seems
hello.
fine.
Skyrim.
All right, so what's the next topic of conversation?
Okay, so
I'm with Joel. I'm with Joel.
yeah.
Moving on.
I discovered an interesting theory on the internet today. Relating to Kojima and Silent Hill and all that stuff.
Oh, we
Silent
should
Hill.
play Silent Hill. No.
Yeah, let's do that.
We should have played
see if
like
there's a
Ground
silent-
Zeroes.
Oh,
That is on
yeah.
PC. Fuck.
I'll
Oops.
download it.
Okay, sure. Just tab out.
Well, no, when you tap out, it's kind of like.
You can't just do it through.
Just keep playing.
It's
this.
1080.
Don't worry
It'll be
about
fine.
it.
Game.
Don't worry about
I'm gonna
it.
just
So-
see if there's a Metal Gear mod.
I'm gonna throw this out there. You guys can roll your eyes appropriately. Here is the theory. You're already starting a little early, but that's okay. So you guys recall in
Yes.
in the Phantom Pain teaser, there was that doctor who was bald and had like a little white goatee.
Oh yeah, I remember
Sure.
that real well.
I do.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for playing along. So there's been in addition to Kojima supposedly being fired, Silent Hill's being canceled. What the fuck? All of that conspiracy stuff. There's another conspiracy going on wherein an Italian doctor who was attempting to perform the world's first head transplant.
Oh yeah.
Started speaking out saying that the game was using his likeness without permission.
What?
Oh boy.
Because the guy in the game looks exactly like him. Dead ringer. And everybody was like, is this another hoax? Is this real? Like,
Holy
people don't
shit.
actually do head transplants, right? That's some Frankenstein shit.
But then,
So, fuck me. Okay. People were linking this to I think a tweet Kojima did like 3 years ago talking about how Ground Zeroes was going to not Ground Zero, sorry, Phantom Pain was going to do some kind of new taboo, and it was very risky, and if he pulled it off it would be crazy good, and he found somebody to help him out with it, otherwise he never would even try it. Flash forward to today. So we're talking about head transplants. We've got this guy coming up out of nowhere, and then people are like, wait a minute. Kojima's the head of Konami,
Yes.
or Konami Productions. Are they transplanting him onto something else?
Oh my God.
So
no, they're not.
Come on, that's a cool. But also here's the biggest problem with that, because I think you found this out yesterday, that Konami delisted itself off the stock exchange.
yeah, so
This is gonna be real cool when the game comes out. We don't sell enough copies to make back our development costs.
They delisted themselves. Now that sounds way too official. Like,
Yes.
for a hoax. But I don't know. I mean,
I do know. There's no way this is a hoax.
Here's the
man, I want it to
problem.
be a hoax.
R.I.P.
Here's the biggest problem I see with all of this speculation, and also the entire Metal Gear
Meow,
Solid
meow,
series.
Metal Gear.
Metal Gear.
You're bored.
you're all
Is that-
nerds.
Kind of, yeah. Is that like...
Damn it, Joel.
No, listen, hear me out.
Okay.
It's so... Like, the people who love it fucking love it. They love it so hard.
That's like most things, though.
But it's so...
that's true.
But it's too niche. Like,
yeah.
the mythology is so dense, you have to, like, play all these dumb fucking ARGs following all this stupid bullshit.
You don't
like,
have to.
and people are so into it. Like, you are not appealing to a wider audience, and that's why, I'm sorry, the franchise is dying.
Well, the problem is, I think the problem is you've done so many ARGs that it's diluted itself. You've cried wolf too many times.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I remember before Dark Knight was coming out, there was like a Dark Knight ARG. And I fucking drove to downtown Los Angeles to try and find a hidden letter. There was a hidden letter down in like the fashion district that was spray painted onto a wall. And if you took a picture of that, you could like link that picture to another picture and it would spell out basically. It became a note that the Joker was writing, but instead of cutting out letters in magazines, it was like they were actually written all over the world and stuff. No, by the time I got, like, it happened and I went there at like 8 a.m. and it was already gone. Someone had already like ripped it down.
Oh, okay. So it was just like a poster.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like that was cool. And that was the one time they did it. And it was real cool. This is like the 80th mystery fun thing that Kojima has done, and it's not fun anymore. It's just release the game.
I'm gonna go on the very opposite side of this. I don't give two shits about Metal Gear.
Yeah, bud.
Singles, and I don't care like at all. And I played like Metal Gear Solid 2, and I enjoyed it. Whatever, who cares? It doesn't matter. The games have gone downhill since then. This has gotten me excited.
Games have gone downhill since 2?
About this game for me.
What was the last one you played, though?
3 was the best.
He just said 2.
2. I played like a half hour of 4.
He didn't play
I played like a half hour of 4.
3.
Was 3 good?
You played 3, right?
I played 3, but I played it on the PS2, so I didn't play Subsistence, so it had a shitty camera.
Adam, just load it on.
Regardless, anyways,
Lotus.
this gets me excited to see Metal Gear Solid 5
the game just
because
fucking broken?
I feel like if he delivers on all this ridiculous hoax, then maybe the game will be good.
No, it means he's not working on the game. By the way,
okay, well,
all of this means
so
he's
Adam,
not
you're
working.
the only one I think here. Lawrence, do you still play Metal Gear games?
Yeah.
I mean,
still play.
still play means what?
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 4.
That means Ground Zeroes.
Vengeance.
You played the most recent.
It means like Peace Walker, Ground Zeroes.
Yeah.
Revengeance
doesn't really count.
What do you? I mean, so
That's what we're talking about. There's so many side things and confusing things.
Well, that was a spin-off.
Yeah. It wasn't even made by
I don't
Konami
like
because
all
they
these
couldn't
rules.
finish it.
No one really counts.
I don't know.
yeah. I mean, I agree with Spool. I said this is my problem. Adam, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm a Metal Gear Solid fan. I just want the goddamn game to come out so I can play because it looks cool.
Yeah.
And Lawrence and I both played through Ground Zeroes, and we're like, "This
I
is
was
fun."
surprised.
I would say
I wrote off.
I was like, "Just let the game live and die on its own merit. I don't need the dude's face wrapped in bandages."
Yes.
Like
Joaquin
Kojima,
Mogren?
yeah, it's like Kojima. Like you do cool stuff, you make interesting games. Do that. Like stop being in front of the camera. Stop like doing like Twitter drama. Like just make games, please.
I like that he's trying.
No,
I know.
It's so boring now.
He's a
All
performer.
that he's tried, all of this stuff, takes away from the fact that the games can just be fun and they can just come out and be fun.
Yeah.
You know, like he doesn't need to do all this extra stuff. It makes me actually. I start getting in his head and I'm thinking, wow, he must be really fucking bored of making this game.
Yeah.
So the only parallel I would have is like a universe that's so weird and dumb and deep and convoluted that
Blizzard?
No, actually, Game of Thrones. So Game of Thrones does it right though, in that like you can go as deep down that rabbit hole as you want to, but then it also has the show which appeals to a lot of like a much broader audience. And so if Metal Gear, it's hard to say.
Metal Gear.
Metal Gear.
How do I jump?
Had
The
like
true fans call it Dark Souls.
It's not a.
had the ability or the some sort of like side franchise, which is like, you know what, this is just cool gameplay and it's like kind of a
Revengeance
cool
is
idea.
kind of like that. Revengeance is like a hack and
the
slash.
Metal Gear franchise used to be like that.
Right.
When they came out with Metal Gear Solid, like the game was pretty dense, but it was all there, right? It was all there. Metal Gear Solid 2 was like I'm not sure where you're headed with this. And then Metal Gear Solid 3 was like, we're rewriting the script, baby! And like everyone loved it because the game was so like hardcore about being a stealth game and it had a cool story that linked back to other things. But then they started tacking in these other things like Metal Gear Acid and Metal Gear, all these other things. And they were like, these are legit. Like these are legitimate parts of the story. And now it's just basically the Tetsuo from the end of Akira, where he's just like a big monster and he's like, ah!
It's so convoluted that I don't even want to try and get involved with it because there's so much bullshit that you have to deal with.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, like at its core, it's a fun game. It has fun gameplay, and you can enjoy the story or not, and the voice acting and stuff. Like the big reason why I was attracted to Metal Gear Solid was it was the first game. I remember when I beat it, I was like, that was a goddamn movie. Like the cutscenes were cool, the action was cool.
Where you're like shooting at Liquid Snake while you're driving in the cars.
Yeah, it was super action heavy and like it's super influenced by Western culture, and it's a Japanese game. That might be one of the problems with it is like when you're talking about mobile games like Acid and Peace Walker and stuff like that. Mobile does much better in Japan than it does in the US.
Especially PSP games.
And so I'm sure Konami was like, Kojima, you need to make this game for PSP. And he's like, but it's a piece of crap. And they're like, yeah, but it's going to sell. Because it's Metal Gear, it's big in Japan, and it's mobile, so make it happen.
It's also going to be a trading card game, and it's going to be canon.
That's just Acid. So Acid actually isn't canon. The only canon mobile game is Peace Walker.
Yeah.
Which isn't better because it kind of copied Monster Hunter Steez, which is another game that's really popular in Japan and not quite so much anywhere else. And I think, honestly, that speaks a lot to Konami in general, because they're kind of exiting the world stage, because for a long time they've only been focused on Japan, and I think they understand that they know how to make games for Japanese players, but not really anyone else, which is interesting culture clash because Kojima is so infatuated with Western culture. It's kind of like Suda51 in that regard. A lot of his games are just giant reference pieces that just kind of grab bits from Western movies in the 80s and just smash them together in a game. And people love them because they haven't seen the movies and they don't understand it's just a giant Frankenstein of movie references.
Well, the cover art to Metal Gear on NES is a straight up ripoff of Terminator 1.
Yeah.
It's Michael Biehn holding a gun, and they're like,
Hey there.
all right,
All right.
bye, Roman soldier.
Where are you headed to?
So I mean, here's the thing.
Up the mountain!
If Kojima pulls off the hoax, like if they delist from the stock exchange, do the whole deal, and they pull, I'm like, that's really cool. That's really cool. I
To
think
me,
that's-
I see a waste of time.
I mean,
it's
yes,
like,
it is
it's like,
absolutely
hey,
a
Bruce,
waste
I got you a birthday present,
Okay,
all right?
Yeah.
I'm going to run around the entire globe to give it to you.
Yeah.
So that way when you see me next, I'll be really tired and sweaty, and you'll know that I have just run around the earth to give it to you.
Yeah.
And then I give you the present, and it's just like it's a fucking gift card to Amazon.com. Like, could you have spent that time getting me a better present, maybe?
There was a
$50 gift card to Amazon?
There was a post on Our Games, I think at the beginning of this week, where someone said, I feel like the subreddit focuses too much on the drama of the industry and not so much actual games, whereas that seems to be more of us, where we're kind of like, look, drama is drama, and it's interesting story and stuff, but ultimately it's like, our game's fun, do we enjoy the games? Like, we don't, I think collectively most of us don't really give a shit about the ARG stuff, right?
No,
like,
not at all.
I mean, some
I
of
just
it,
think it's neat.
It's fun to talk about.
yeah, it's fun to
Yeah.
talk about, sure, but it's like, I think people get really hung up on like kind of the inner workings of the industry and stuff. When at the end of the day, it's like, is the Phantom Pain going to be fun?
Hold on. Real quick,
right,
Joel.
then
I feel like Hideo Kojima sits in an office writing up a script, and then at the end he holds it up and he says, Jeff Keighley's going to love this. And then that's it. And then that's his qualification.
Well, so it's funny. So that's funny because my point that I was going to make is that, like, having worked at G4 and Machinima and just in games industry long enough, ARGs are never created for the most part for the fans. They're always created as some dumb bullshit marketing
It's for
thing.
press. Yeah,
it's for press. And like, so what they're really trying to do is like gin up this like fake buzz for the game, and it's always poorly constructed. The number of times that actually people approached us at Machinima to create an ARG for them, like
I love
5
that.
or 6
Create an ARG.
That
Just
was something
do
that,
it.
people were like, hey, we've got this game coming out. Can you make an ARG for us? And we'd be like, no, like no one wants to do that. It's exhausting. And so it's not a natural part of the game process. It's part of the marketing process. So
Well, that's why I like this, because he's not creating anything for anybody to do. It's basically just so much speculation.
But-
so like he's doing, if it's a hoax, which probably isn't, but if it's a hoax, he's doing a bunch of shit.
But-
and then like everybody's finding out about it.
But
Like,
don't you want him working on the game?
exactly, that's my point.
You should he should just be like, marketing team, go.
I don't.
Yeah, I think maybe that's the thing is he's done. He has
that-
nothing else to do.
Also, the fact is, I don't give a shit. If the game's good, the game's good, right? I don't care. I mean, like, it doesn't matter if he's working on the game or not. If it's done, it's done. And he's doing all this other bullshit to get the game out. I mean, again, I think it's cool that he's trying to pull something off that's totally unique and different. I mean, like, this is something that nobody's ever done, if it's a hoax, which it probably isn't.
Are you talking about the head transplant?
Well,
the whole thing.
the whole thing, like delisting a company from the stock exchange. and all that other
It's
bullshit.
crazy, but at the end, it's just going to be a Metal Gear
Yeah,
game.
no, it'll be a game. Again, I know.
It's also not a new franchise or anything. Like, it's not going to be a new experience or whatever.
But I'll be like this. I'll be like, hats off to you.
yeah, bravo,
Good day,
good
sir.
sir.
Yeah, that'll be
I
it.
will not buy your game.
You've survived.
Yeah, I know. It's like, I won't play the game, but hats off to you.
Here's a little clap.
Maybe it's just more indicative of the world we live in right now with social media being a thing. That's like there's so much noise, and to cut through the noise is much harder. And to have people continuously talking about your game or product or movie or whatever, you need to do this sort of stuff. So like, because I'm sure there's some marketing guy right now pulling his hair out listening to us, being like, "My job is my life." Like I worked hard on that ARG that you just shit all over, and it was like, sorry, like we think it's dorky or whatever, but like this is what people have to do to get people engaged. To stay, because we're talking about Metal Gear. I mean, when does it come out? Like
know.
September?
I don't know, because the ARG doesn't include a release
It
date.
doesn't matter.
You got to piece
And
it
also, it's
together.
not an ARG.
I was just going to say, it's funny because PT, right?
Yeah.
PT is kind of mixed up in this whole shabazz.
Oh, yeah.
And the Silent Hills game that they were working on, PT was like
Whoa,
the
that's not a
best
good cave.
marketing
Ever.
ever.
That's
The worst kind of cave.
The best marketing ever.
Oh.
All it was just here's a snippet of what this game's supposed to be in tone and in gameplay and in fear,
Also,
right?
they just dropped it.
They just
Like,
dropped
it. Was
it.
just there.
You're like, here you go.
Yeah.
It's
Well-
kind of unfortunate that they've canceled the game, which indicates to me that all they did was just build PT
they
and
may
then
not. They may not have. It may be a hoax.
fine. But the thing is, could you imagine if instead they dropped PT and they were like, by the way, in 1 month the game's gonna come out. So play PT now,
That'd be
try and
amazing.
figure it out, and then while you're you're fuming.
No,
at,
I know.
What was it?
Foaming.
Foaming at the mouth.
Foaming,
Foaming at the mouth
Champing
for
at the
more.
bit.
Yeah. You're going to be. We're gonna drop that game.
Does
in a
that make
month.
sense?
That's good marketing.
Yeah,
No,
that-
sorry, Adam, go ahead.
No, you go, Joel.
No. You have
Joe-
a question
no,
to
Joe-
ask.
No,
You
well,
go.
it sounded like you were going to say not counter, but you were going to provide a different perspective on what I was saying. So
Well, I was just gonna say, delist yourself in the New York Stock Exchange and say we are canceling the game. Like, doesn't that go a little too far?
Yeah, that's why I don't think it's an ARG.
Yeah, that's
No.
what.
But,
I
but-
think-
but all right, go ahead.
I think James. I think
I
that
have
is
another theory for that one.
awesome, and the amount of money and time it took to create PT is probably the amount of time and money it takes to execute a really well done ARG that people actually talk about, not some bullshit thing that like you just throw up some Twitter links or whatever, but like an actual thing. And having like a playable, confusing, cool demo that it goes viral and everybody's excited about, and then dropping the game. That's fucking awesome. That is something I can get behind. Like that is like going down a rabbit hole that I would be totally interested in
Can
going
you imagine
down.
how much money it would have made? And maybe I'm over assuming because we are kind of still in the industry and there was a lot of industry buzz and maybe PT didn't leak out as far, but I'm pretty sure they like announced and they were like, this was downloaded a retarded number of times.
And everybody was playing it.
Imagine if after the end, if you got to the end and there was just an add to cart button,
Yeah.
how many people would have clicked
I know.
like add to cart immediately?
Immediately.
But think of this.
it's
Imagine
the
this.
shouts, that's
Imagine
why.
they say they cancel the game and it shows up on the PlayStation Network for 1 day.
Oh, that is the
For 1
weirdest.
day.
That is the
The
weirdest.
game's there, everybody
marketing
downloads
ever.
it, and then it goes
I,
away.
I like Bruce. I'm
Oh
with Bruce.
man, I should be fucking marketing for them.
Bruce
No,
is
you know
like,
what?
Bruce is like, I found the perfect method to generate hype and no profit.
No. Like you release it, and download it for a week, and then you hold off for a week, right?
Bruce
It
is
just
like the Mad
disappears.
Hatter in Alice in Wonderland.
Everybody plays it, and then you come back, and then the game's out there. But
I have an idea for a game that's only available for 24 hours.
Download.
I keep telling you, the best YouTube channel is the one that where as soon as it gets views, you
Yeah,
cancel the
that's
YouTube channel.
That's true.
Bring it down.
I can tell you right now how that's a bad idea. Because
Okay.
How? I don't believe you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prove Bruce wrong.
Yeah, tell me how I'm wrong.
if you can't generate enough views, you can't keep the channel going.
Well, hold on a minute.
Oh,
I haven't finished out my
Hold
plan
on.
yet.
Okay.
I told you. You release it in a week, like 1 day, it's out, right? It gets pirated. Everybody pirates it
Yeah.
for like a week, let's say.
Uh-huh.
And then the game actually releases, and they go, "We were just kidding around. This is actually the game." I think that'd be cool.
I have 3 words for you, Adam, in regards to how do you make money. ARG.
Another cool thing to do. You know, we fake leaked a video at one point. We put up a video that wasn't supposed
worked
to go
really
up, and it
well.
worked really well.
Yeah.
I would love to see a fake game leak.
Yeah.
As like a marketing stunt. Like that's a marketing stunt that would be really cool. It's playable. People could actually do something with it. And then imagine if, again, like it said, add to cart, or it unveiled at the end of the demo that this is releasing in a week or in a month or whatever. Like that's super cool.
Mm-hmm.
But no one thinks like no one's as smart as we are.
Yeah, that's it. We figured it out.
No one's as smart
I
as
just
we are.
think that there were a lot of people and they're like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?
ARG!
And Kojima, I think, is genuinely bored. I think he's wanted to make the movies that he's been making for a while now. I think if they were like, Kojima, we want you to direct the Metal Gear Solid film, he'd be like, thank God.
Yeah, I know.
Thank God, because I'm so tired of trying to figure out how to turn these things into games.
Do you think, or he'd be directing the movie and be like, this would be so much better as a video game?
No, I don't think
yeah.
so. I don't think so. He's slowly been transitioning his own games into movies.
Would the Metal Gear Solid movie be like the intro movie, or would it be like you're already waist deep in the mythology?
No. You only make 10 minutes of the first episode. And then you put it out and people pirate it.
Oh my god.
so the thing is, I was
ARG.
ARG.
I was super checked out of Metal Gear before I played Ground Zeroes, and I was actually really shocked to discover that it was a pretty good game. Like, yes, it opens and closes with a pretty fucking long cutscene, but in the middle, it's more of a game than Metal Gear Solid 4 ever was. It's actually a pretty good and well-made stealth game. There's a lot of cool mechanics, like if you get spotted, You get like it's called lightning reflexes. The game slows down and you have about like a second to react.
Yeah.
So you can like
which I think you can turn on or off depending on how you want.
Yeah, if you want to play hardcore, you can turn it off, but it like gives you a chance to maybe pop someone in the head with a tranquilizer dart or hide real quick.
Yeah.
It's just a kind of a cool little feature that I'm like, okay, that's genuinely innovative and actually makes this game a lot more fun to play.
You know what's interesting? When all this was kind of unfolding, my wife Elise was saying to me, she's like, "Well, Silent Hills is done," and I'm like, "Is it?"
Yeah, it was done.
And I was like,
Not according to Bruce Green, marketing genius.
Well, hold on.
It's on the way.
I was like, why would it be done? And she's like, well, because Kojima's off of it. And I'm like, but one dude doesn't make a game.
At Konami, yes. He's the at Konami at least, Kojima's the only one still pressing to make AAA console games.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just
Where
saying,
they lose
like,
money apparently.
like you would think that by this point, with all the stuff we had seen for promotion, for PT and everything, they would have some sort of game there that they're not just going to throw away.
I know.
I mean,
they're going to release it. It's going to get pirated. I keep telling you. This is...
I was underassuming the business state of Konami and their business goals or whatever. But it's like Shigeru Miyamoto doesn't make Mario. He's not sitting at the computer going like, and then Mario jumps here.
I think there are.
It is kind of interesting how Kojima does appear to be so integral to the games that he makes that they're like, well, he's gone. We can't make this game, which to me is absurd.
I don't think it's not really like that. It's he's gone. Now we don't have to make this game.
Well, that's probably true.
We're free.
I think there are artistic thought leaders that like you require their input, like universe world builders, in that game. I mean, could Blizzard continue making stuff like World of Warcraft expansions without, you know, Metzen and Samwise and all those guys? Yeah, but they would like it wouldn't have the same soul. Like it wouldn't have the same knowledge base and the same soul of the game.
It's like how Apple went out of business when Steve Jobs died.
Well,
the iPhone 6 didn't it sell a shit ton?
It did. First of all, the iPhone 6 is basically just like copying their ideas and their ideas.
I was gonna say more accurately though. Apple almost went out of business when Steve Jobs left the first time.
Yeah.
And then they brought him back, and he went all iMac, iPod, all that stuff, brought the iUniverse, whatever, to Apple and saved the company.
And he's also laid out, before he died, like a 10-year plan for, like, this is what we want to do. So talk to me again in 10 or 15. I mean, I'm not saying that they're going to be out of business, but I'd be curious to see what products they're releasing in, like, 8 to 10 to 12 years.
Don't go there.
To see if they're as successful or as visionary as they have been.
Well, I mean, like, in reality, like James is saying, why can't they just finish it with Del Toro? Like, if he was making the game,
I would understand.
He's a game designer.
I would understand.
I know that, but he was on it.
Well,
again, it's not like Kojima is typing in the codes.
Well,
that's
what I'm saying.
I think I would see Del Toro leaving because he was like, well, I like these games and I wanted to work with this guy.
Well,
I didn't want to just make a video.
Everything they've demonstrated as a company says they don't want to. They made Lords of Shadow because Lords of Shadow 1 sold well, but the second one didn't sell well, so they're done. Mercury Steam wasn't acquired. And the only other game they were making aside from that is Pro Evolution Soccer and Metal Gear. Yeah. And they've been slowly getting rid of all their franchises. They had full games they announced that just never came out. They announced a Contra at E3 2012.
Oh yeah.
Just didn't happen. Because
or maybe it did and we just didn't know.
Because they don't have
it needed an ARG.
It's coming out tomorrow for one day.
There's a difference between something like Contra, which they announced. That's like a company decision to make money. There's no one there's no single champion fighting for that project to get made.
But they also delisted themselves from the New York Stock Exchange and said specifically the market doesn't make sense for us to even be in America anymore.
Yeah.
And I think that says to me that they're like, this is not a game we want to play anymore because we've been losing money on it for a long time, and we had somebody that had a big name and a lot of clout who wanted this to happen, and we finally found a way to get rid of him. And now we can run the company like we want to.
By asking him to leave.
Basically, yeah.
Well, I heard there's this other story that
turning off his life support.
Yeah.
There's a Japanese business tactic where they basically just they
make it terrible for you.
Yeah, they make it terrible and they just shame you every day and until the point where you just leave.
I mean,
so you quit on your own.
Dealt with that business tactic here in Los Angeles.
Hey, I was gonna say maybe that's not just Japanese. Yeah. Anyway.
Well,
so anyways, Silent Hills is coming out.
We'll see you tomorrow, Silent Hill.
You just keep an eye out on the Pirate
By the time
Bay.
you're listening to this podcast, Silent Hill will
entire
come
podcast.
out and then be gone.
They're going to relist themselves on the stock exchange. Their stock's going to shoot right up.
This has been one big ARG for Silent Hills and Metal Gear.
We'd
and
like to thank Konami for paying us $500,000.
You know what they could have done too is they could have just changed PT's price to free to $5. And said, "Fuck it, we'll keep it on here. We'll keep selling it. We'll just reap in the money."
Again, they don't care.
They don't care. Ship is sale. No
they want out.
I'm with Lawrence. They don't give a shit.
Lawrence keeps saying they don't care.
Someone would buy it.
They want out. They want out as thoroughly and harshly as they can get. They want out.
Let's give it one more chance.
There are a lot of parallels I can draw that I cannot say out loud right now.
Don't say them out loud.
I don't know. you look at the trajectory of their company. They've been very slowly stepping back, and it's obvious that like the amount of people that cared to make these kinds of games at Konami has been gradually shrinking. Their E3 booth last year was this giant white thing. There was no branding on any of it, and it was just for Metal Gear, and there weren't even demos.
Stealth.
So it's like
ARG.
ARG.
Oh man, so smart.
it's a big ARG. Yeah, they were there out of obligation, and now they don't even have to care.
The real victim here is Kiefer Sutherland.
Oh
poor
no!
Kiefer.
What's he gonna do with that $500,000?
He's gonna have to do Lost Boys 4. Or whatever.
I keep telling you guys my theory. I don't think he's going to be in the game for very long.
No, I don't think so either.
There are theories that
That's
you
my
won't play as
theory,
Big
too.
Boss in Ground Zeroes. So whatever.
Well,
That's it.
Phantom
Yeah.
Pain.
Well, anyways, thanks for watching.
Yes.
Oh, was that it?
Fuck
Podcast
me.
is over.
That's
No.
it.
Wow.
Adam
we
and I
did
are
it.
actually
We
friends.
solved the ARG.
I love you.
I have shingles.
Oh, it
I
cut.
got
Hey, what's our
now.
shingles?
I love Joel so much I have shingles.
Shingles is an acronym. Figure out what, and then you will get a free copy of Silent Hills. Thanks for watching.
Can't play it anymore.
Goodbye.
Bye. Sorry, Silent Hill. The game doesn't work.
Silent Hill's coming. I'm telling you, Silent Hills is coming.
Well, I mean, you said taking apart a toy. I feel like if there is a kid who gets a toy and loves this toy so much that he takes it apart, that's probably a good thing to encourage. It's a curiosity thing, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So
Nice. I actually did that a lot. I remember
graphics.
all those like stupid little Tiger handheld LCD games. I took all of them apart.
Yeah.
And I would even like swap out parts and see what happened.
Yeah, it's a curiosity thing. I'm sure you would like to be someone that makes a mod, probably in the back of their mind.